Recording now. Hello, Tom. How are you?
I'm very good. Good to hear from you, Nathan.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you
hello,
so much.
Spencer.
All right.
Welcome
Yeah,
to the
what's
show,
going
Spencer.
on?
So, how are you? Welcome to Main Event Boxing Talk.
All righty.
All right, guys. Let's start off with the big news. Hit it away, Tom.
Well,
What's the big news?
the big fight between AJ and Fury is off.
It's officially off.
Yeah, Arm pulled the plug on it.
Now, listen, it's funny, right? Because Wilder's mediation wasn't really complete. The arbitration, and they went there, and they probably figured it might cost them with the amount of money that the Saudis was giving them, because the reported amount was dropping. At first, it was 200 million, then it was 150 million. Last I heard, it was like 104 million.
What?
So the price kept dropping that the Saudis wanted to give them for the fight. And if they had to give Deontay Wilder like a percentage of that, they might have been like, you know what, we'll just go ahead and fight Deontay Wilder.
Well, yeah, they both have to fight soon. And Fury, if he doesn't fight soon, I think his head's going to explode.
Yeah,
So he's got to fight somebody.
He needs to fight anyone, just defend that title against anyone. You know,
Well,
and Joshua will end up fighting White. I can see it happen.
But what
Joshua's gonna
Spencer is
fight
saying
Usyk.
is true. What Spencer is saying is true, because that's the logical fight. They even mentioned it in the article that because Wilder's already in training.
Right.
So they can make that fight in July, and Wilder's recovered and he's in training. So that's logical, and it could go off and it would solve all those other problems, give them both the payday, and then they could both move on.
And what's so crazy is that Eddie Hearn, I don't know, maybe Eddie Hearn was trying to stay in good with the people from the Middle East and didn't want to like drop the fight and go somewhere else, because he supposedly had 4 or 5 offers. If he had so many offers, okay, if y'all don't have the paperwork ready, then we'll go to the next one. Like, I don't understand what the delay was. And it was such a big fight that you already knew ahead of time. If AJ beats Pulev, this is the fight we want. So we should have all our T's crossed and our I's dotted, so that if we become victorious, Fury's talking about he's not fighting Wilder, then we could present something. Now, again, if Wilder is the one that's causing it with his arbitration, is causing it, then that's a different story. It ain't up to Eddie. Eddie has nothing to do with it.
That's right.
Joshua does not want to fight Wilder. I know he doesn't, because he knows Wilder would knock him out, knock his head off. Seriously, Wilder he destroyed Joshua within a few.
Yeah, but Wilder is not a mandatory for him, right?
No, he's not. But
he's a mandatory in the sense that if he lost in arbitration, then that he would have to honor the rematch. Because remember, they have a rematch. Neither one of them fought since they fought each other. So
that's right.
So, and maybe that's the reason why Wilder wasn't so quick to go sign with somebody else, because if he would have signed with somebody else and staged the fight, then they would have been like, all right, all bets are off. You already moved on.
Wilder just fight somebody in the interim, the same as what Andy Ruiz is, just fight somebody else just to stay active, you know.
Yeah, but if he would have did that, he might have lost his case against Fury in the arbitration, because they could have deemed him moving on from the fight already. You already moved on.
Exactly.
But he should move on anyway and just look for a different way to get to the top. You know, he's still got plenty of big fights. You know,
no, not as big as this. Not for this kind of money.
Deontay Wilder about to fight Tyson Fury. There's no other fight, maybe AJ, but there's no other fight that's bigger than that for Wilder right now.
Could win the rematch. You know, there's no. He could, of course, he could. You know,
yeah, he could win the rematch, but there's no other. Maybe slightly. No, I don't even think that. But I was gonna say maybe slightly a Ruiz fight might get him some type of money.
Ruiz, I tell you what, Ruiz would give him real problems. Ruiz would give him hell to hand spin. But I'm not sure Ruiz could take those big shots for too long. You know,
Well, he took AJ's shots. He took
AJ
some big punches.
Yeah, big punch. But Wilder does it sustained. It's a sustained beating with him, isn't it? You know.
Well, I just hope they both come out of the fight, in good shape, and Wilder doesn't. Wilder's had a few bad injuries to his arms, and
You don't know.
his head. He hasn't looked good really in his last two fights
Right. We
against
we must move
King
on.
Kong, and yeah, okay.
Because he's not really that great of a boxer, and he don't know how to punch. That's why he keep breaking and pulling his muscle and breaking his hand and stuff.
Right, let's move on, guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, Captain.
Right, Sonny Edwards wins the IBF flyweight title. Was it
Okay.
bantamweight? What weight was it, Tom?
I didn't see it. It must have just happened.
Yeah, flyweight.
Yeah, I was seeing the headlines. Did it happen today? Was that a today fight?
Yeah, but I didn't watch it.
Uh-huh.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah. So I don't know what to say because I haven't seen it.
I've seen a bit of the highlights.
But I'm happy
Edwards
that he
looked
won.
good. But I looked at that guy's record who he beat, and he's 38 years old. Edwards is 25. Very good. He beat an older guy for a title who's near the end. That's how it normally goes. And Michael Conlan won his fight as well.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's right, but that was close. I think they're moving him a little too fast. He's 15-0 with 8 KOs, but I think he needs more seasoning before he starts getting up there in the higher level, of the bantamweight, featherweight.
Frank Warren has a bit of problem the
Some
way
dangerous people up there.
Do you guys? Sorry,
He's with Bob Arum, but he's the mistake that they got is he came out the same Olympic class as Shakur Stevenson.
Okay.
And you see how fast Shakur Stevenson is taking off.
Yeah.
And Bob is trying to kind of make Conlan keep pace on that type of level, but
he's not as good.
Conlan is not, that's why he pushed Conlan and Shakur away from each other. Because they was in, Conlan was Shakur's mandatory when Shakur had the WBO title. But he just moved up and all this other stuff. So
Conlan will win a
Shakur
world
is
title.
too dangerous for him. Shakur is much too
I think
dangerous. for him right now.
Conlan would be better if he had a British promoter, because he's a British fighter. He'd be better off if he was with Eddie Hearn. Then in the British, as we have a good way, as you probably noticed, of getting fighters who are not that good. Look at the history of Britain.
I mean, he's been selling him pretty decent because he's been putting him on St. Patrick. Well, not with the pandemic and all that, but he's been putting him on St. Patrick's Day cards here in Madison Square Garden prior to that, Conlan. And he was supposed to been on the dates for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
The pandemic messed that up, but he's trying to build him up here in the States.
Yeah.
And New York got a big Irish following, so
That's right.
I mean a big Irish population. So
We'll move on now. Ben Askren loses in 1 round to Jake Paul. What the hell was this? Oh my God!
It was a joke. That's what it was.
Hilarious.
Come on. Ben Askren's a wrestler. He's not really a striker.
The UFC are looking like pussies right now. I'm sorry, but they're looking like pussies.
especially since Paul ain't no boxer.
Yeah, it's hilarious, isn't it?
Oh, it's
And then
crazy.
you've got
isn't it?
Jake Paul fighting an old Mayweather who's a really old Mayweather. Ridiculous.
But it's crazy about that one because it's supposed to be like a weight. It's a significant weight difference.
Oh yeah, he's a cruiserweight.
And he got like a 190 weight clause.
Yeah.
Where what Mayweather got to be no more than 160 or something.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Mayweather will kill him. Mayweather will still kill him, won't he?
Yeah, probably.
I think Floyd walks around about 145,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The #1 allergist recommended.
But there's no
Yeah.
way that poor lad Logan will be able to take his punches. As soon as he feels that punch to the body, he's down.
Well, Floyd used to walk around 145 when he was fighting. He might walk around a little bit heavier than that, but I don't think he's heavier than 160. No, I don't think he's heavier than that. No, that's what I'm saying. Like when he was fighting, he was walking around at like 145, 148. But now I figure maybe 154, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he was never that big. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
no.
a small frame guy,
He just got he got kind of long arms, like.
Well, he always had a good body, for boxing. He had a great boxer's body. He was never like bulky, he had fast twitch. So we'll have to see. I mean, Conor McGregor was bigger than him. Didn't he come in bigger than Floyd?
We're moving on now. Progress wants to fight Broner next.
Good luck.
Yeah, I said that. Remember I said that though a couple of shows ago or something that Triller was looking at AB and Regis is about to fight on Triller, so they might be fighting each other. They might give them some money. The Floyd Mayweather Paul fight card is set, so it's not going to be on that card. But they could probably do it on the Tyson Lewis card.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that, but yes, that's true.
The next thing we were going to mention, we'll come on to that, was what was the other thing?
Well, wait,
a boxer has died. A boxer's died.
Who do you get before we go there? Who do you favor in that fight?
In which fight?
With Broner and Progress.
Progress. All day long.
You sure about that?
Yeah. I only think. Listen, Broner's better than Progress. If they would say they best, yeah. But Progress is just a lot more active. Broner's gonna definitely have to punch.
Oh yeah.
Because if not, it's just gonna look. Even if Progress don't connect, it's just gonna look like he's attacking and that Broner's not doing anything.
Why are we still talking about this goofball in 2021? I mean, come on. Seriously, it's crazy, isn't it? How is this man still being given this big payday when he's obviously passed his sell by then?
I mean, Broner's what, 31?
Yeah, but he fights like an old man. He doesn't throw anything.
Listen, I don't disagree with you. I don't understand it, but Adrian Broner, I guess, is I wouldn't say Gabe Rosado or the welterweight division, because
no, he's controversial and he brings people to the fight.
He used to be my favorite fighter 10 years ago, but then after when he lost to Maidana, I lost interest in him the day he lost to Maidana.
See, that's probably why he went on that downhill spiral, because he lost a lot of fans after one loss.
And he shouldn't have gone up to that weight. That was part of the problem. That was his downfall. Going up.
Well, he wanted to fight Floyd. Remember back then? He wanted to fight Floyd.
Hilarious.
Yeah, because that was supposed to be, he was going to beat Maidana and then he was going to fight Floyd.
Yeah,
that's right.
But I mean, are those two still friends? Are those two still friends or not? I don't know.
They're on and off. Not lately.
Right, let's move on. Let me see what was next. What you were going to mention something else? What was at the bottom?
Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson.
Was that actually a thing?
They said it is.
Yeah.
He said he's not going to fight. He said he's not going to fight Holyfield in the trilogy. He's going to fight Lennox Lewis instead. And there was something about that, because I think Mike Tyson, Triller had a contract with Mike Tyson for the next fight or two.
Two more fights.
Right. And he was like, nah. And I think
they beat him out of some money, according to Mike Tyson.
Okay, so then I guess he could breach out his contract if they didn't honor their part.
Well, that's up to them to see what happens there, but that's in there too. Are you aware of this thing with Canelo saying that he was negotiating the release of his brother who was kidnapped back in 2018?
Yeah.
While he was fighting?
Right. Rocky Fielding, during the Rocky Fielding stuff.
Yeah. Not crazy?
Yeah.
He kept it a secret. Oh, I know what you were mentioning about Berlanga's KO streak ending, going the full 8 rounds.
Well, we
were going to talk about.
John Pascal and Buddy Jack will apparently be having a rematch pretty soon.
Yeah, that's going to be on the Floyd Paul card.
Do you guys get the feeling that that Pascal has been around forever, and he's the sort of guy who, how the hell is he still getting these big wins? I start, after the beatings he took against Kovalev, and all those bad losses he had?
Well,
I mean-
because he comes back and wins once in a while and regains the title.
Yeah, listen, like just because you lose one time don't mean you're gonna always lose.
No.
You know, you regroup and give it your all.
A few awful, shocking performances over the last 6-7 years. You know, the Hopkins loss, 13 years ago. It all adds up, you know.
Won first. He beat Hopkins the first time.
Then he lost
the rematch.
Yeah.
But then he eventually came back and fought. I was surprised him and what's his name? Adonis Stevenson never fought.
Yeah. But the thing is, when I look at his career, it's like he's a guy that you would have thought would have disappeared into the sunset 5 or 6 years ago. With, you know,
No, because that Canadian promoter was being greedy, yo. Because he had what's it called? At one point, he had Baturbiev too.
Right.
What's his name? Yvonne Michel. He was keeping Pascal on one path, and then he was keeping Adonis on another path, and then hopefully they'll win titles and then face off against each other. But Kovalev was winning.
And what's happened now? Pascal still has his brains intact, and isn't Adonis Stephen a little bit brain damaged now?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not so much brain damage. He had a blood clot.
Yeah, he had a brain injury from his fight.
But he can't fight anymore.
He's fully recovered, like to the point where he can live a normal life.
Yeah, he's not fighting anymore.
He's okay. He's okay. But he's not. He can never fight again. He can never get hit in the head again.
You know what? That was tragic. What happened to him was tragic. Right. Let's move on. We've got the big fight card, so we'll start with the Chisora fight card. I'm going to go for a couple of fights very quickly on this. So Chris Eubank Jr. will be fighting the British level guy called Mark Morrison. This is at middleweight. This should be a walkover, surely.
Yeah, this is a stay busy.
There, I didn't hear that. What? Say that again.
The Chris Eubank fight.
Oh yeah, what about it?
He's fighting Marcus Morrison, who is a British level guy. I've seen Marcus Morrison fight. Morrison's been talking tough in the conference, but I think it's going to be a short fight.
Well, Chris can punch, so he's got that going for him.
Chris been out for a minute though, right?
Year and a half.
That's true. Yeah.
So he might give him a couple of rounds at first. He might not end it early.
I want to see it go about 6-7 rounds. And then next we've got James Tennyson, who is a British level guy, who is fighting an unknown Mexican called Giovanni Strathon for the illustrious IBO strap, lightweight strap.
The illustrious, I love that. Well, who do you favor? I don't know either guy. Tennyson, is he good?
No, not really. Not really.
Did he fight Tevin Farmer?
Yes, he did about 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. And he lost, right?
But I saw him fight a couple of years. He's just a British level fighter.
I seen him fight after the Tevin Farmer fight, and I think he did well on that fight.
But
if I can recall.
Yeah.
I think he stopped him.
Yeah.
No. Because it was on a British card, I believe, that I seen him on. Yeah, he's his claim to fame is he fought what's it called for a title.
Yeah, but he's European level. He's probably not even European level, and that's been nice. Right. And the unknown Mexican, we've seen this before. A British fighter fights an unknown Mexican. We know what normally happens.
Yeah, y'all don't like that British Mexican war. Y'all don't really be winning too many of the battles.
No, because we haven't got. It's called bad matchmaking. Right, next on the bill, you've got Katie Taylor will be fighting Natasha Jonas. This really is an easy fight for Katie Taylor.
It's also the styles, really.
Yeah, I mean, look at all those titles on the line, man.
Yeah.
WBC, WBA, she's got them all.
Yeah, and also Campbell Hatton will be fighting his second fight. He's Ricky Hatton. He'll be fighting a guy who's lost 4 fights in a row.
Wow.
Why isn't Katie Taylor fighting? What's her name? That beat Breakers?
I don't know.
I forgot her name. You mean the champ, the other champ? Yeah.
She's a white high. She's a white high, isn't she? Wrong way.
Yeah, but she got all the titles at that weight. Ain't like anyway. Or Amanda Serrano, yo. So
The next fight is Dimitri
Bivol.
Bivol fighting Craig Richards. Craig Richards I've seen, and again, this guy is another British level. This is, again, terrible matchmaking for Dimitri Bivol.
Well, these
Well,
guys
it's-
got to fight. I mean, not every fight can be an elite fighter fight.
No,
That's
but I'm
the thing
talking
that
about a
people have to
guy
accept.
who's actually a proper top 15, and Craig Richards probably isn't a top 30 fighter in that division in the world.
when the last time Bivol had a fight?
A year
It
ago?
was about what? A
Year
year
and a
ago,
bit.
yeah, right.
It was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got to knock off the rust. I mean, plus Joe Smith just had a fight. He can't fight him. But Turbiev is not available, right? Because
I've had to pay 20 quid for this card just to watch this. Yeah, in America, you can watch a British card for nothing on, does it? Yeah.
well, it costs us to get the zone.
Yeah.
The zone ain't free.
But the only good thing is I'm watching it on Sky Box Office. At least we don't have to pay like £70 a pay-per-view like you guys do, which is ridiculous.
You know, I think though this is going to be a good fight. I'm looking at this guy's record. He's fought some good people.
It's not that good.
Who, Richards?
What is that? Is that a TV? What is that in the back?
B.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think
I couldn't hear anything.
that Craig Richards, I think this will be over in about 3 rounds. Right, now we move on to the main event. This is Derek Chisora against Parker for the vacant WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight title. I think this fight's going to be closer than what we think.
It depends on Chisora's output.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get tired after the middle rounds, if he could hang in there, which I think, you know, he's been training and been active, so it'll be a good one. And Parker is going to have to step up to the plate here and do something, you know, impressive.
Parker will win. In my mind, he will win this fight on points. Unanimous decision. What do you think, Spencer?
I'm hoping that Chisora kind of poked the bear a little bit in Parker with all of the antics. Because a lot of his guys that he be fighting don't really battle him and talk crap and all of this other stuff. So we haven't really been getting a beast out of Parker lately. So maybe him doing that old Spider-Man, which is funny in my opinion. That was kind of funny and clever. But
It was.
him doing the Spider-Man, and him talking about flipping a coin and I don't want to go out first and
If Parker, all he has to do to win this fight is fight on the outside and keep it at a distance and just keep it fighting on the outside and he'll win. And he can win this fight at boxing, so he doesn't need to get involved in a war.
Yeah, he could fight the way his best fight is better than Chisora's best fight. So
if it's proven if you can move and box, you can beat Chisora. It's been done
without question. And I think that he's going to be able to do that.
Well, I think that's his modus operandi to do that. But I think if Parker really wants to get in line for a shot, he's got to knock him out. He has to knock this guy out. You don't think he can knock Chisora out? Wait a minute. Hold on. What did you say?
Parker is not very good at fighting on the inside, and we've seen it. His inside fighting skills is pretty poor. He has to throw 5-6 punch combinations and move away. He's going to be on his bike, the same as what Usyk was. If he gets involved in a war, he's going to get knocked down and he's probably going to get knocked out. So he has to keep it at distance, you know?
I mean, listen, Dylan White knocked him down one time, legitimately one time. The other one was questionable. But even at that stage, you know, like Joseph Parker is not a weak chin guy. He can fight.
He should be able to manhandle Chisora and knock him out. But I don't think we won't see it.
I mean, if they do get in a battle on the inside, how many chinks? I mean, how many hits to the armor can Chisora take before he like folds? Quite
a few. But I think Parker, if it gets into a dogfight, and I'm talking like in the real trenches, I don't think Parker is up for that. If you get 2 guys in the trenches, Chisora will come out on top. He has to.
We'll see.
He has to fight smart.
We'll see. I think that he will fight on the inside, and that's how he's gonna get to him because he gotta want to get another fight.
Yeah,
So
but
he can't jump the line unless he impress.
But he
So,
can win this fight
That's right.
by boxing on the back foot and keeping it outside, and that way he wins safely. I don't want to see that performance from him, but that's what I think we're going to get.
Yeah, maybe he got a new trainer and all this other stuff, so maybe not.
Andy Lee.
I think the more exciting.
Yeah, carry on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Carry on.
Carry on.
No, carry on.
I was going to say, I think the more exciting fight, if we're talking about heavyweights, is Ruiz versus Arreola. They're going to be fireworks in that.
Yo, you see how light Arreola is?
How heavy is he? Now
He like what they said, 231 or something.
You're joking. Let me look at the weight.
I was like, yo, he's like 20 pounds under Ruiz. I was like, wow, this is going to be a nice one.
He's 228.6 and Ruiz is 256.
So he's close to
But
30 pounds.
Ruiz lost 30 pounds too.
Yeah. Does he look all right though? Ruiz, does he look okay in shape or not? Or is he still fat?
Ruiz.
Yeah.
Yo, when they tried, when they was doing the face to face, you see Ruiz try to like swell up his chest and all this other stuff. Because you know he's shorter than Arreola a little bit.
Really?
Not by much, man. But Arreola look real slim. So it's gonna be a nice battle.
Be in this shape 12 years ago when he was in his prime.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. You know, he came up from middleweight from the time he was an amateur to a heavyweight.
So he himself to heavyweight. Oh, dear. I'm just looking at the way
he looks good.
Yeah, he under 230. That's that. When Arreola looks like that, that's good. He comes to fight in those fights.
Let's be honest. If Arreola had been like this in the prime, he could have won a world title if he was in that shape in his prime, because you know he was pretty handy in his prime.
Did he fight Molina at that weight? Like when he was slim, was it Molina that he fought?
He was fat when he fought. He was fat when he fought Molina. He was about 260, about 270.
There was somebody a couple of fights ago that Arreola kind of looked kind of slim in too.
But Ruiz looks in great shape here. I tell you, I've never seen him look this good. And also, but will the weight loss be a factor in this fight for him, do you think?
He got fast hands. It might help him because he has fast hands already, and he had fast hands as a big guy. Imagine him being slimmed down.
What would he do to Joshua now? I mean, come on. Yeah, that's scary. Who do you think wins this fight then, guys? I'm going to say Ruiz in 6 rounds.
I think Ruiz is going to knock him out. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Arreola had a fight with that. He looked good because he was. What was
Didn't
his
he
weight
lose?
in that? Yeah, he lost that one by unanimous decision. But
Carry on.
I'm trying to figure out his weight. Yeah, I was trying to look at his weight to see if they had his weight listed, but I ain't going through all of that. I remember he was light for that one. Anyway,
do you guys think Ruiz kind of missed the boat in it? Not Ruiz. Arreola kind of missed the boat in his career a little bit.
He wasn't going to be none of them Klitschko boys.
All right, let's move on to another fight.
He wasn't going to be one of the Klitschkos. So Laura going to fight
Thomas
Cornflakes
for the vacant WBA middleweight title, which I find a bit strange when he's just won a world title at light middleweight. Yet Eubank is the interim champion and should have got this title shot.
Eubank is fighting somebody that not anybody.
Yeah.
He's fighting somebody that's not anybody. I love that.
So Lara's fighting the guy who's nobody as well for a vacant belt. Yeah. Lara will win this fight very easily.
Yeah, he should. He should be able to dispatch this guy rather easy.
I like that dispatch. That sounds good to me.
And Omar
Fundora is going to be on this card.
I know. With Coda.
Who is this Fundora? Is he a prospect? I've never
He's
seen
the tall dude. Ain't that the tall one?
Yeah, that's the tall.
Yeah, that's the real tall guy. Like he looks like a basketball player.
What is he?
Nah,
like
this is super welter, 154.
Oh, he is huge.
Yeah, man.
Never seen him.
He's like,
I should.
damn. You have
Also-
never seen him?
No, I will watch him when I get up. Who is Eduardo Ramirez? Could someone tell me who this guy is? He's fighting somebody called Isaac Avia for the, was it WBA interim title?
I don't think I've seen him fight.
Who did he fight before? He fought. Oh, okay, he beat one of the Bartholomew brothers
Okay, yeah. Well, the
a
world
couple
champion
years
one.
ago. Nah, Le Demond, not
Not Rance. Okay.
not not Rances.
And Omar Figueroa is fighting somebody called Abel Sanchez.
He lost to Lee Selby.
Oh, did he? Wow. What? Who did this?
Ramirez, Eduardo
Really?
Ramirez lost
Wow.
to Lee Selby.
Wow.
We got
And he
Adrian
lost to-
Granados in here too versus
Yeah.
Sanchez. Granados, really? Man, he was on a long losing streak here.
And Figueroa's coming back.
He is?
Figueroa's
Omar
on the
Figueroa,
card.
yeah, didn't he get stopped?
Yeah, he lost. Who did he lose to?
I'm gonna check it out. Hold
Ugas. He lost to
Right.
Ugas. He didn't get stopped. He lost to Ugas though.
on. A decision, yeah, that's right. He lost a unanimous decision to him, but he took a lot of punches. His style is he takes lots of shots, to get a
Negron is on this.
KO.
Who? What? Why they even got this fight up there? I don't know. That's
What's that?
entertainment. Some of these cards down at the bottom, like Negron versus Alexander.
Trash of the week. Trash of the week. Yeah. Manuel Charles will be fighting the illustrious Chris Lovejoy
I love it. I can't wait.
on the
Can't
15th
wait
of
for
May.
that.
I've got my
Happy days are here it again.
Right. What else is there?
Wait, where is that fight going to be at?
Germany, apparently, and it's going to be run by German Boxing Association, which is EC Promotion, by Errol Sealand. So this is a German production.
Okay.
And it's got the Victor Vic twisters on the top. Right, we've got 7 minutes left. Anything else you want to bring up?
Well, let me see here. Let's see if we covered this. Well, as far as this Manuel Char thing and Christopher Lovejoy, I think Lovejoy could knock him out. Don't you think he can knock him out?
No, no.
Yeah, look, I mean, he got the power to knock him out.
Right.
And
he could do it.
okay, we ain't talking as if we not believing Char is like the cream of the crop here. Don't he got a long layoff too?
4 years.
Yep.
4 years.
Yeah, so yeah.
So
The
what do
only
you think
thing
about
that Char has at his advantage is he'll be fighting at home, if you want to consider that an advantage.
Yeah. Lovejoy's
that would be about it.
Lovejoy's an open, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an interesting week in boxing with all this different news and twists and turns with Lewis and Tyson, and then the heavyweight fight being off and all this crazy stuff. We did have a boxer that passed away,
Yeah.
who was a young guy, which, we should probably just take our hats off to him and just realize how dangerous this sport is.
Yeah. I was watching something, and they some YouTube video, and they was talking about the deaths in boxing and how like the danger don't really be the fight that person is in. Sometimes it's a fighter will be in a tough fight and take a lot of punishment.
Right.
It's the next fight but it's not really even just the next fight per se. It's they don't have enough time to heal before they go into the next fight. It's
sometimes they can heal. They have a blood clot.
Shall we?
I mean, historically, that has been the case in several fights. You remember the Perret fight?
Yeah.
You were probably
And
younger
he
than
died
I
in the
am.
ring, yeah. I've seen the whole fight.
Yeah,
And I'll tell you
but
what,
the
it was hard.
damage happened the fight before.
But he was
Damage
lying
happened
dead in the ring.
fight
You could see
before.
at the end of the film.
And then fighters got to try to make weight, and then sometimes they get dehydrated also. So like it's a combination of things that's really
But
it's
there
really
is a clip
dangerous.
I want to show you off the air, which was when Eddie Kid Perret passed away, Emil Griffith met Eddie Perrett's son 40 years after he killed his dad. And they went
I
to the
saw
grave.
that too.
And it
I
made
saw
me cry. I'm not going to lie, it upset me and it made me cry. You know,
Well,
that was heartbreaking.
I met Emil Griffith and I met Vito Antifermo on the same night.
Yeah.
They were very nice people. But the thing is, you don't know, you know, when you go in, you're in the heat of the ring, you don't know how bad your opponent is hurt if he's faking. Once you got him hurt, you got to go for it. But he had no idea that Benny was in that kind of shape.
Yeah,
It's not his fault.
But the fact that he went to see the son and he apologized to the son, and the son said, "You got nothing to apologize for," didn't he? Do you remember?
I do remember.
And he forgave. He said, "My dad knew what he was doing."
Of course. I mean, every fighter that goes in the ring, like Tyson says, there's an unwritten contract. You could get killed in training or in the ring. And that's part of the deal. If you're going to fight, you got to accept
so why
those.
are we promoting these guys who are in their late 50s at their time of life? These fights, we shouldn't be promoting Roy Jones and things like that. This is why you retire for a reason. This is why.
But it's not like Roy Jones. I mean, to be fair, it's not like Roy Jones is fighting Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder,
which would be ridiculous. And probably
but Spencer, I mean,
listen, I don't disagree.
Listen. Tyson was pulling his punches in that fight. He wasn't hitting him full. And he didn't try to go for the head that often. He went to the body a lot, but he wasn't punching him full out. So he basically carried Roy. And it was obvious he was carrying Roy, but you know, it was for entertainment.
Yeah.
He didn't, and Roy wasn't trying to take his head off. So
but every fighter has to understand they have a shelf life. And once your shelf life has expired, you walk away and you get on with your life. You know, I just think it's wrong. You know,
well,
Tyson should be paid. A lot of
people said that. Well, wait a second. A lot of people said that about George Foreman.
Yeah.
But look what happened.
Yeah. But that was that's not going to happen, bro. Carry on.
There's nothing wrong with George Foreman.
No.
Or Bernard Hopkins. Look at Hopkins.
There's something wrong with him. No, I'm just.
Well,
no, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
I know, yeah. But if you're getting hit with your head at the age of 50 and you've already boxed for 25, 30 years, to me, that tells me the time, you know, Roy, it's like Roy, he went on a decade too long. He should have retired when he lost to Glenn Johnson.
Roy Jones is a different situation. Roy Jones was still fighting like maybe 2 years prior to him fighting Mike Tyson. So it wasn't that far away from him being out of the ring.
You could see what the break did for Tyson rather than it did nothing, you know. You saw what that 16-year break did for Tyson. He came back a different person, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
plus, you know, he wasn't fighting the cream of the crops in the thing either.
No.
The competition level wasn't
very low.
the greatest. So
I mean, if you're getting knocked up by Enzo Macronelli, a guy who was shot 14 years ago, then you've got a big problem. Like, I don't understand why he fought a puncher. That made no sense that far.
Who are you talking about?
Roy Jones fought Enzo Macronelli, who was still in.
Well,
listen, some of these guys got financial problems that they gotta still fight.
But Roy never had those problems. He's got plenty. He's got millions, and yet he continued. I don't get it.
Well, you know, once you're a superstar, it's hard to walk away from the concert hall. You know,
just look at Sugar Ray Robinson. Yeah, the same thing. He died. He blew his money and he died with nothing. Where Roy has the opportunity to walk out with his brain. Anyway, we finished the podcast now because we run out of time.
All right.
All right,
hey, man.
Enjoy the fights tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll talk about them later. Thanks for coming.